Okay guys, so this is the sleeves that I made for the cardigan. This is made out of same weight category of yarn, and because they are made of remnants or waste yarns, of course they're not going to be the same, which I like. Adds to the design of the outfit. And I intentionally did not make the changes in colors the same number of rows, again just to add to the design. You're up to you if you want to make it evenly colored or separated. As long as you make a total of 140 rows for each sleeve. This is just one layer of tube. If you want it thicker, or you want to have a much heavier cardigan, you can double it. Okay, so you can do 280 rows. Of course, it's also dependent on the length of your arm. So with 140 rows and a brim, I used the brim there on the 20th row. So I used 20 rows for the brim. So 140 rows including a brim would measure up to 25 inches. So if you need to make something shorter than that or longer than that, then you can just adjust by rows, adding or decreasing rows. If you notice, this other sleeve right here is cinched a little. I actually inserted an what do you call those things? An elastics, okay? Just light elastics inside. Let me show you what they look like. Right here. Okay, I have a roll of it. What you just need to do is measure your wrist. Okay, without overstretching the elastic, just measure it like that, and then cut it based on your measurement. Okay, and then you're gonna be oh, hang on, I still have the waste yarn here. So let me remove these waste yarn after you did the brim and close and finish all your tube. You're gonna need to remove the waste yarn, lock your stitches, your remaining yarn string, and then you're gonna be inserting this elastic inside. I will show you a technique on how to do it, and we'll go from there. Okay, so again, just to review, your sleeves are made of 140 rows, and on the 20th row you'll be making a brim. If you're not familiar with on how to make a brim, I'll add a video, a link at the under the description of this video, and I believe I made a part of that video too, so I'll see if I could attach that video. And make sure you also do waste yarn. So you're going to be doing waste yarn on each end, okay, because it'll be easier for you to make a brim with the waste yarn at the end. And because we are attaching this end to the body part of the cardigan, I added a 5 to 7 waste yarn, rows of waste yarn on this end as well. I have yet to figure out how I'm going to attach it to the body still, but we'll leave it there for now. Okay, all right, let me pause this for a minute. Okay, so now I'm removing the waste yarn from the brim part of the sleeve. I like this light yarn because everything is just easier to do. I had no issues with the machines, you know, no drop stitches or anything like that. Okay, so I have removed the waste yarn from the brim part of the sleeve. This is the tail of the working yarn, so I'm just gonna secure it and hide it through the rest of the sleeve without showing outside, of course. Just weave it through the stitches here. Okay. And then we cut the tail. All right. So now what we're gonna do is insert the elastic that I'm talking about. Normally I would use a large safety pin for this, but somehow I cannot find mine. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use this large eyed needle. It's longer than the normal ones, yarn needle. And what you're gonna do, you're gonna use the, not the pointy part, but the blunt part of this needle, and just insert it through the brim without going through the other side, okay? It's gonna be inside the brim. And while you're doing that, you're gonna hold on to this end, okay? You're not gonna let it through. You're gonna keep this end on your hand, okay? So what you're really trying to do, insert the entire elastic through the brim. Okay, again, without going through the other side. I've done that before. It's not easy. And it's gonna be easier if you actually have a so I'm still holding on to the tail of this elastic and my needle. See that? You need to avoid that. That can't go through there, okay? I don't want to lose it. Okay. All right, so keep going until you reach where the part where you started, okay? There you go. Slide that through to make it easier. It's not easy to keep the yarn in your hand while doing this, so if you need help from someone, or actually what you can do too is get maybe a marker, put one through here, through your one end of the elastic, so you can easily hold it, okay? Because it slides on your hand. And then we continue sliding the other end of the needle through the brim without going through the actual material or the sleeve. Sorry, I keep getting out of the frame here. Okay, so I'm almost there. So this is the tail that we've been holding on to. And now the other end of the needle is actually here. See, right there. So when you reach that, your starting point, whoopsie, there you go. Pull it. And then what you need to do is grab both the ends of your elastics. Take the marker out. And then if you have another needle that's ready, do I have one? I guess I don't. Let's see. Doesn't matter what yarn you used here, but what you need to do is you can either tie them up at the end, or, hey, let me remove this first. There you go. All right, so we got both ends now. So with a double strings of yarn, you're going to, so you pull it, and then you're gonna sew and secure the ends together by sewing them together. I use double yarn strings to make sure it's gonna be secure and tight. Okay, so that's how it would look like. So even if you pull it hard, it won't come off. They won't get untied together. Untied from each other, I mean. One more. Okay. And then we cut the tail. And then if you when you pull it, it's gonna go inside the brim, so you won't see it anymore. Okay, so that's gonna create like a cinch end of your sleeve, and you won't even know that the elastic is there. Okay, this is how the other one would look like. All right. Okay, next thing that I'll show you is how to attach. Well, I'm gonna finish the body itself first. I haven't really crocheted the sides of the body yet, so let me do that, and then I'll show you how to attach this end of the sleeve to the body. Alrighty. All right, we're back, and now we have already attached the sides of the body right there. This is where the sleeves will be attached, this opening right here, and I ended up leaving a slit at the bottom as well, right there in between these two squares. Okay, now to put on the sleeve, or to attach the sleeve, so I showed you earlier that I ended up putting a waist yarn at the end of this sleeve, because we'll be attaching it over here. And in the beginning I couldn't figure out how to do it, but the only reason why I attached this, why I had a waist yarn at the end, is to make sure that we don't cinch this end as we cast it off the machine. Okay, we want to keep it open and loose. And the way we're gonna close this end, we're not really gonna close it, but the way we're gonna secure the end is to grab your yarn needle and your yarn that you use for your stitches. I use the sage yarn for connecting the squares. And this yarn is still connected to the actual skein, so you don't want to cut that, okay? Because after we secure the ends of this sleeve, we're going to be using the rest of the yarn, the tail of the yarn, to crochet it or to attach it to the body. Okay, so what you want to do is take the last stitch you've made, this one right here, oh sorry, last stitch, and you just, it's like oh yeah, let me redo this. It's like you're just gonna cast it off the machine, but this time it's already out of the machine. Okay, you know what, just to make sure this doesn't come off, I want you to start on this row, this stitch right here. It's not the first stitch that you made, but I believe it's one of the last few stitches. Okay, as long as it's the end and not one of these over here, it's the last one at the end. Okay, so you just want to go through the last stitches one by one without cinching the tube or without pulling it too tight. Okay, you're just securing the ends of this rows. Just continue to do that. Get it closer so you could see. All right, so make sure you don't skip any of these stitches. The last stitches. Last row of stitches is what I should say. Okay. Again, don't cinch it, okay? I just lost my yarn here. Hang on. Well, I'm gonna come back when this is done all the way to where we started, okay? Okay, so now I have gone all the way around with my sage yarn. Okay, this is where I started right here. And where I started, you'll notice after taking the waste yarn, I already took them off. After removing the waste yarn, you will notice that the working yarn tail is still there. So you want to grab your yarn needle and secure this tail before we attach it to the body, the sleeve to the body. Just maybe make a couple of stitches and then hide your yarn. Just weave it through there, through your stitches. Okay, and cut it. Okay, so that's done. Now we're ready to attach this sleeve to the body, okay? So this is how it would look like so far. With the brim end, garterized end with elastic. And then this is the part, the side or the end that we'll be attaching to the body. Okay, so this is the body right now where the sleeve will be going in. So to make sure that we are evenly connecting this to the body. Oh, by the way, the yarn that you use to secure the end rows of the sleeve, don't cut it yet, okay? It's still attached to the main yarn cake or yarn skeins, okay? All right, so what we're gonna do now is get your yarn or your needles or your either your needles or your pins, and we're just gonna temporarily attach the sleeve to the body with those pins and or needles. I just want to make sure that it is attached evenly. So just grab the edge of this sleeve and align it with the armpit part of the armhole, and just attach it temporarily with your pins or needles. Okay, right there. Open this up a little bit more so you can see. Okay, and then open the sleeve, well, stretch it out, I mean, and then take the other side of the sleeve and align it with the other end of the armhole, okay? Okay, just like that. Okay, and then you're gonna put a temporary pin again, or needle, whatever you have. All right, now what's left that are not attached together, you just want to align it with the rest of the armhole, okay? So this part of the sleeve, you just want to align it with this part of the armhole. Again, with use of needles or pins. If I could find some more, there you go. Okay. I want a bigger one. Let's see here. Okay, right here. Just so the sleeve and the armhole are evenly aligned or distributed, you know? So not one side is tighter and the other side is looser. Same thing on this back part. Okay, you're just gonna align the edge of the sleeve to the edge of the armhole, okay? So you're gonna need pretty much 4 needles or pins to put this together. Okay, so it would look like this now. Let me show you. Just like that. Of course, this is not attached firmly because it's just attached with temporarily, but we'll be crocheting all the way around here, okay? Crocheting or sewing, whatever you choose to do. Okay? Let me see if I could. I hope you could see it. It's hard to see with all this stuff. So we'll be sewing around here or crocheting around here, up on the shoulder, back part of the shoulder, and then back to the bottom of the, or to the armpit where you started. All right, let me show that now. So what you're gonna use, remember this is still connected to the cake or to the skein, right? So this is what you're gonna use to crochet or to sew it, okay? Alright, so we should start here. I can take this off now because I know where we're starting. So you're just gonna take, first you're gonna insert your hook or your needle underneath the sage yarn that you saw through the ends and the edge of the armhole. So you're gonna insert your hook through the sleeve and the sleeve armhole, okay? So for every stitch, you want to do 1 single crochet. All right. Continue doing this all the way around until I reach where I started, and then I'll show you the finished sleeve attachment, okay? And in the end, you just fasten off, and then we'll secure it by sewing at the end, okay? Leave a bit of a long tail so we could sew it. All right. So far, it's looking like this. This is the body. This is the sleeve right here. Okay. All right. I'll be back. This is the last stitch I have to completely attach the sleeve to the armhole. So now I'm just gonna fasten off and cut this. Okay. And then you'll find that you have 2 remaining yarn tails there. You just want to secure them and hide them. Just weave them through the stitches. Make sure it's secure. And then we hide the rest of it. And then we cut. Same thing with the other one. Just hide it. Okie dokie. And then let me put this in a hanger so you could see what the entire sleeve would look like attached to the body, okay? All right, guys. We have completed attaching all the parts. This is now the sleeve attached to the body. Okay. Now, if you notice, because of these bunching up or curling up stitches that connects the squares, it's not as neat on the side. I mean, I'm satisfied with this, but I think it would look nice if I also do like single crochet on this side around, pretty much around the border of the body. Okay, of course it's up to you if you want to do that. If you're comfortable with this, you're done. Congratulations, you finished your cardigan. Knowing myself, I would probably do that. Let me do that and I'll show you the finished product so you could compare and see if you want to do the same. I also am still thinking of, I don't know, maybe adding a few more flowers. It's all up to you.